So, Bill's going to be out tonight for the Bud Light March Mini Hoops competition. The first of many appearances that he and I will be doing.
Yes.
Bill is at Rookies tonight in Parma Heights from 7 to 9. And then tomorrow night, I will be at the Brew Garden in Middleburg Heights from 6 to 8. We get 2 winners from each spot, by the way.
And then they compete in the finals on the 23rd, correct?
That's correct.
Where's that one again?
I know where it is. I don't have the details on the time, but it will be at On Tap in Medina.
Oh, okay.
You know where that is.
I do know where that is.
Yeah.
That's right down the street from my parents.
We're still nailing down the time. I figured when
Great
I was
place.
done with the finals, I would go and say hi to Sue and
Jim.
Jim.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I always think your dad's name is Don?
That is his real. His name's Donald James.
Okay.
But he goes by Jim.
Because when I've talked to him,
Mm-hmm.
and it hasn't been for a while, but he's always very
They said
nice.
the same thing. They said, "Why hasn't Alan talked to us in a while?"
Well, they're unfailingly polite. Your parents
they're
are
very kind.
Oh my goodness, they're just the nicest people. And so maybe I will. Like, how would they like it if I showed up at their house?
Oh, they'd be just fine with it. They'd be like, "Oh, thanks for visiting." They'd be,
And then they'd slam the screen door in my face.
No,
wouldn't
they not at all. They'd invite you in. They'd probably give you some food.
Okay.
They're. I don't say they love a drop by, but they're not gonna.
Well, nobody
be
does.
rude.
Yeah,
They're
I
not gonna be
understand.
rude about it.
Would they show me the bunker?
Do they have one?
I'm assuming they do. Do they not?
If they do, I'm not privy to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They haven't shown it to you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that can't be a good sign.
Hey, it's their bunker.
They figure that you will have your own
Or they figure
up
hey,
there in your
he's made
penthouse
his
apartment in the
choices.
sky. Yeah, okay.
He's gonna get raptured or he's not.
Uh-huh. Right.
I don't think so, but I love On Tap. That'll be a fun one for the finals.
Well, the full schedule of where we will be. I will be out every Saturday in March. Bill is doing Thursdays and Fridays.
Yes.
So tonight is the very first one. He'll be at Rookies in Parma Heights. Tomorrow night I will be at the Brew Garden in Middleburg Heights. But if you go to WMMS.com and all of the details and the scheduling, if you can't make it this weekend, there's plenty more you can come to.
And they're free to attend.
Free to attend. We'll
free
get
to compete.
2 winners each week. There's simply no way to know how many winners that is per hour.
Mm-hmm.
But the grand prize is getting you to Vegas and the National Bud Light March Mini Hoops. It's like Pop-A-Shot.
Yeah.
March Mini Hoops winner will get $10,000. There's no reason that can't be you.
Now, the reason I can't do those Saturday ones is because I got stand-up shows. So if you want to see me do some stand-up on a Saturday, BillSquire.com. Willoughby tomorrow. Lorraine next week. Lorraine, lots of clicks. A lot of people clicking on the event. I see the numbers there.
Oh, you can see the clicks.
Let's turn them into sales.
Let's
get those because
Click,
Willoughby's almost sold out. That's got it might be sold out. I haven't checked.
And that's the
but
one where Poundcake's working the door.
Yes.
doing his loose 5. Right?
No, that's
loose 5.
that's what he calls the date after the gig.
Oh.
Hey-oh!
Because he's going to be banging a loose 5. I get it.
Did I send you guys the Bay Village is getting a gazebo?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That's exciting.
Speaking of loose 5s.
That's why I want Bill to keep his stink finger out of my fine community.
Well, I'm a taken man right now, so I think that'll be just fine.
All right. What, Mary?
And
I didn't say anything.
No, I thought she was.
I don't
getting
mess
us.
with 5s. Come on.
What?
She's talking about the girls that I'd be fingering.
What's the matter with
She's
that?
calling them loose 5s.
We don't finger a 10. You finger a 5, right?
I didn't know there were moves reserved for certain numbers.
See,
I'm saying the girls that I've done it with have been 7-ups. Maybe a 6.
That means he used a glass bottle.
Uh-huh.
I
Take 7, up yours.
yeah. I can only cast my mind back to high school because that was the last time that I did that.
That's how you
figure once you become
When you
an
just
adult,
do that and don't do anything else.
Oh.
Once you can do other things, why am I doing that? Like
because
once
you're in public and you're at a gazebo and
Oh,
you can't
well,
really
okay.
be pulling other. Can't be pulling your stuff out. Their
once
stuff's
I
inside,
have
so it's,
once
you
I
know,
have more arrows in my quiver.
They might be wearing a dress.
Yeah.
I don't think I've done that as an adult. I can think of one time that Brian and I were like fooling around on the couch and it was like a surprise where I was like, oh,
That's one of my favorite things.
to completion, huh? That was crazy.
That's one of my
like,
favorite
I was not
things.
ready for that.
When I do that to a girl to completion, they're like, how'd you do that? I'm like, what?
But even after that, we still had sex.
Yeah.
It wasn't just that. So the
Right, but
last
it's
time it
still-
was just hand stuff, I honestly don't know.
Well, here's the
I like
issue,
to do
too.
I like to do a hand stuff and then just walk away and just be like, have a good night.
I'd
And
be
they're like,
so
"What
mad
the
at
hell?"
you. Oh,
Here's the
Why?
issue, too.
If you finished,
because that makes you want to do more.
Well, I want to tread lightly here, but here's the
Okay.
issue, too, is that contrary to popular belief, not every girl finishes with the outside stuff.
That's true.
right.
So if you get one of those, then you're
That's why I like gazebos, because you're inside and outside at the same time.
yeah, but it's like you don't want to feel like they're just riding it out and
no,
playing
no, of
along.
course. Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Alan, let Mary know I started in Cleveland with kegs and eggs and a parade on St. Patty's Day. I got on a plane at noon to Vegas. Everybody on the plane was hammered. And
See,
or
that's why I was
drinking.
like,
But that's a plane to Vegas.
To
Right.
Vegas with Cleveland. I think the big factor here that you're not going to see is Minneapolis isn't a huge St. Patrick's Day
because I'm flying
city.
home. I'm flying from Minneapolis to New York City, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will people
So,
be going to
two
New York
weeks, yeah,
to celebrate?
to celebrate, yeah. And they're like, these beer prices in the airport are so cheap compared to New York. I got to fill up.
Pretzels are making me thirsty. Devotion to Accuracy, by the way, I mentioned that Run DMC documentary was on HBO, is on Peacock,
You idiot.
which is going to be merged with Paramount. So it will soon be on Paracock. Or whatever they're going to call that. I don't know. They'll probably have some new dumb name for it, but
P-mount?
yeah, maybe. They
Well, I
can't do,
imagine
they
it's like-
can't do cockmount, right?
Because
They can't-
Peacock is universal, right?
Yes.
So,
NBC Universal is
Yeah.
Peacock. Paramount is like Viacom, CBS. That well, it's
Paramount's,
Paramount now.
Paramount's
but
the
it's its
main
own thing. Yeah.
I imagine it's just all going to swallow up and just be in just Paramount.
They'll have one streamer that encompasses everything, and it'll just be called blah.
Just be called television.
Yeah.
TV
Hey guys,
Plus.
remember cable?
Mhm.
Alan, where did you get the pee pee poo poo song? Robert, right?
Yes,
He
Robert,
called to
yes.
let us know. My children are 22 and 25, and they love the pee pee poo poo
Pee-pee's
song.
what I like to do. Pee-pee poo, pee-pee poo, poo-poo. I like to do too. Poo-poo, pee-pee poo. Poo-poo, pee-pee poo, poo, pee-pee, pee-pee poo, poo-poo. Oh, pee-pee's what I like to do. Pee-pee poo, pee-pee poo, poo-poo. I like to do too. Poo-poo, pee-pee poo.
He's got good pipes.
He does, but Robert called us and was very intent
You know,
on making sure that he got credit, and I certainly did not want to deprive him of that. I just didn't realize that it was him.
he was a little ornery, but you got to separate the art from the artist, right, Poundcake?
Sure. Sure. Somebody else, I mentioned earlier, Poundcake's antebellum slave cosplay period piece. Somebody referred to it as the Underground Mail Road. Is that what they called it?
Yeah.
Somebody else suggested the Underbrown Railroad.
I like the Mail Road.
I
better.
think so, too.
I don't want to think anything brown when I'm going down.
Well, it's your name.
I know. But
Okay, I mean, you know. Oh, Paramount called off that merger. Is that?
Oh,
Well,
really?
I think that the probably a government agency called that off. I think they were trying to say that would be a monopoly. I don't know if it's the FTC or the SEC or whatever it is. I think that there was some concern that was going to be. And again, I don't know how they choose what two companies would be too big to merge because massive companies are merging all the time and nobody seems to care.
was
So
gonna
I
say,
don't know.
Google owns YouTube,
Yes. Well, they have
And-
for a long time,
Mhm.
though.
and so but there's YouTube TV.
But they
And-
bought YouTube when it was a lot smaller than it is now, too.
But-
They were just like, this is going to be massive. Let's buy it.
Google itself is like a monopoly. Like no one uses Ask Jeeves or Yahoo Answers. Like it's embedded into my phone. Even when I try not to use Google, like if I just type something into a URL, it's like, oh, I didn't ask Google. I just typed in I wanted to go to the website, and then Google pops up. I'm like, y'all doing too much.
Well, you can set ask.com. It used to be called Ask Jeeves, but Ask is still a thing. Quora is still a thing, I think.
But that's
Ever go
not
to
a search
Quora?
Yeah,
engine.
Quora's still a thing, but it's
It's more like a Reddit, right?
Kind
Yeah, a
of.
little bit.
It's like crowdsourced answers.
So Mary's here today. She will also be here next Friday in the room. And so as such, next Friday is when...
Don't bring it up. Don't bring it up.
Next Friday is when we will do our Polar Blast punishment. Bill won this year's Polar Blast battle, so Poundcake and Mary and I will be doing that one-chip challenge. Now, Dr. Ryan Berglund from the Cleveland Clinic will also be here to give us a reprieve the last hour of the show.
What a great day.
But if you have a drippy
For
wiener,
you,
there
you
is...
get-
What?
For him, he's like, what a great day. That's going to be so much fun.
And the customers.
Right, the punishments are for the customers. It ain't for us. So we will do that next Friday. Dr. Ryan Berglund from the Cleveland Clinic, who joins us a few times a year, we do a segment called Is It Red? And he helps you guys with weird problems you got going on down there in the strike zone. So if you anticipate, I've already had a handful of people hit me up. Hey, how do I get a question to you? Alan at alancoxshow.com is how you can email me in advance. I keep an Is It Red file, and I will put it in there. If you want to remain anonymous, that's no problem. Otherwise, we'll take your calls live, your texts, all that next Friday. So the first 3 hours of the show, each one of us will take an hour and do that chip challenge. And then by the time Dr. Berglund gets here, we'll probably be so blown out that we'll just take your calls.
Did you decide what your oh, wow, I'm having a stroke.
Go ahead. Take your time.
Your beverage of alleviation will be.
No, I think I'm going to bring yogurt.
I think I'm gonna bring vanilla ice cream.
Okay.
I saw that a shake is a good call too.
Mhm.
So I think I'm gonna bring some like oat milk vanilla ice cream.
They changed those Shamrock shakes, didn't they?
What do you mean they changed them?
Well, my daughter wanted one, and she had never had one. I said, yeah, okay. And so I got a little one, and I took... First of all, they're like neon green now.
They've always been that color.
No, I don't recall that. They
Yeah.
used to be kind of a muted green, so I don't know if they're... they're
They've been
really
that
bright green.
They've been that bright green for a long
Have they?
time.
Yeah,
though.
for as
Okay.
long as I can remember.
Like,
Well, I
I
guess
know
I
what you're
haven't-
talking about, where it's more of a mint green.
Yes.
But it's been that
Okay.
for at least 10 years.
Mm. Well, I guess that tells you how long since I've had one, but I thought maybe that was a recent development. It tastes fine. I took a sip.
You like mint?
Like mint chocolate chip, that
no,
kind of
like
thing.
mint. I mean, that is a mint flavored beverage.
Right.
I loved Shamrock Shakes.
It's not supposed to be a mint chocolate flavor?
No.
Oh,
It
okay.
is. If that's what you're expecting, that might be why you think it.
No, I
tastes
just
weird.
thought maybe it was a muted kind of...
No, it's just
okay.
mint.
Just mint.
Maybe it was my
now,
brain
maybe you can add
associating
chocolate
it with...
chips when you get home.
Oh,
Or chocolate syrup.
I didn't do
Uh-huh.
that.
There you go.
But somebody left a message on the iHeartRadio app with a suggestion for next Friday.
Here's the trick to win this punishment. You need to go out, you need to get COVID, and that way you won't be able to taste or smell anything. Chip won't be hot. That's how you win. COVID for champions.
Wait, would it still tingle?
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
And your throat would still
right.
hurt?
It would still tear battery acid through you. And I've ordered those chips, by the way. We will have an extra one, Bill, if you want to join us, because they come in packs of 2.
Give one to Ryan Berglund.
Ooh, that'd be
Make
fun.
him
God.
make him answer drippy peen questions.
Right. It will definitely be red.
I don't know. I got an event that night, so I don't know.
Right,
If
no, I
I
don't-
that. Yeah.
So, yeah, no.
We can save that last one for maybe another time.
Yeah, I'll put it in the back pocket. But that would also, not everybody, the one time I had COVID, I didn't have any symptoms. So that would have to be contingent on somebody losing their smell and taste, which are basically the same thing, but which a lot of people did when they got COVID. So the plan theoretically is not a bad one, but man, you'd still feel it burn.
And your butt.
COVID for champions. Like that, though. Yeah, and your butt, too. That's not going to feel good. You're not going to like that. Mary, I notice you're not laughing at all the fart humor.
Is that right? Is that the right noise?
I'm sorry? Oh.
But I like to do.
Pee poo. So that'll be next Friday. We'll do the punishments. We'll we won't do Dr. Ryan Berglund, but he'll be here and he'll do
Speak for
you.
yourself.
Yeah, you want to get the weekend going. We're going to take Dr. Berglund in the back and figure out what's what. Speaking of chips, they have determined, I was reading a thing today, that Rice Crispie treats have beaten Doritos as America's favorite snack.
Bro, they're so
They
good.
are so good. And even like a really good homemade one, I think the preservative chemicals make it taste better when it comes out of the wrapper. Now, that doesn't mean like a Fruity Pebble Rice Krispie treat, I'll lose my mind. Like the homemade ones, if you see those at like a bake sale or if your friend has like whatever.
You can make them pretty easily too.
Right, but like those packaged silver and blue classic Rice Krispie treats, man, those things are so good.
I get the ones with the chocolate coating on the bottom.
Yeah.
And so you have it, or a little chocolate chip, or
They
everything's
are great. They are a top snack.
Like everything's better when you're high, but they taste pretty damn good when you're sober as well. Like they're probably just as good.
Well, Gwen will occasionally make them with Fruity Pebbles.
Oh, they're the best.
Oh, my God.
You can make them with any cereal.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Well, I've...
Grape Nuts ones aren't that good.
Yeah, Special K. Not... Well, yeah, I'm curious when you look at these maps, why there are regional favorites. I don't know if it's because of shipping or what it is, but like Doritos, massive in like Ohio and then down into the South. Whereas Cheetos, Texas, up the West Coast, Rice Krispie treats have the most ground, but like Fritos are huge in a couple states. And boy, I love me some Fritos. Cheetos
Fritos are good.
are biggest in Illinois, and Chex Mix is in there too. But
Love Chex Mix. The bold Chex Mix. I'll eat an entire bag of it. But I'm also a person, I don't want anything but the Chex. If I could get a bag
You don't
of
want the
just-
party mix.
I don't, no, Chex Mix
Has all
has
that stuff in
pretzels and breadsticks and rye chips and all that.
yeah,
I just want the Chex.
that's Gardetto's.
No, regular Chex Mix
I know.
has all that in it.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, Rice Krispie treats have topped out over Doritos in these United States.
I'm trying to think if there's a snack.
Chex Mix is the biggest in Montana, North Dakota, and Hawaii.
What about Slim Jims? Are they on there?
No.
I had a Slim Jim today.
What do they say, Bill? Step into a Slim Jim?
No. Snap.
I'm sorry? That makes no
You
sense.
want to snap it.
Snap. Hey, you want to snap into a Slim
Yeah,
Jim?
you sound just like Macho Man Randy Savage.
Snap.
into that Slim Jim.
So there was a meme going around that Rob Zombie looked like the ghost of Randy Macho Man Savage.
That's
or something.
funny.
That's
That's
pretty
very
good.
accurate.
Yeah. March 4th is National Snack Day, and so they were doing this in anticipation of that. Gesundheit.
March 4th and get diabetes.
Yeah.
Dude, I've had a diabetic day. I haven't had a real meal yet. I had breakfast at the airport lounge in New York, but then I was planning on eating when my plane landed, but I got stuck at the rental car place, so I had a Pop-Tart and Cheez-Its. Then my sister made pierogies. And then I had a Slim Jim and a Red Bull.
How did you, Jesus,
I know.
how did you land on Cheez-Its and what? Cheez-Its and
Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tart. Were they cinnamon brown sugar?
No, they only had strawberry. Cinnamon brown sugar is my favorite, though.
How did you, that's most people's favorite. How did you land on Pop-Tarts and Cheez-Its?
Well, the Pop-Tarts were the most, like, meal-esque item in the vending machine.
Okay.
There was a lot of candy bars.
Yep.
So I was like, Pop-Tarts, I guess I could say, are kind of like a breakfast food, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
That's what they are
so I
meant
got
for.
those first, and then I was looking, and it was like 90% candy bars. But then they had like a bag of pretzels, the bag of Cheez-Its, a bag of baked Lay's barbecue, and maybe one other thing. And I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna get some Cheez-Its. And so those were the two things that weren't a candy bar that sounded like I might be able to leverage them into a meal. And then pierogies, and then a Red Bull and a Slim Jim, and then I had half a cookie out there. So I'm not doing great today.
I had that lobster roll that I was talking about yesterday.
Oh, the mayo.
Oh, so good. So
But
it wasn't very heavy on the mayo.
But the reason that we discussed that is because we got that customer who submitted his own
Yes.
stairway fart, and you surmised that maybe the combination of the lobster roll and the mayo,
All that
and then the
stuff.
beer tonight from your appearance. Do you
Yeah.
think that later on tonight that's still going to happen?
Oh yeah, we're gonna
be able to
give
update
it,
your stairwell
We're
fart?
gonna give it a good shot. I think when I get back home, because I have a show too. So like I got to do the radio, the mini hoops event,
Mhm.
and then it's Imposter Theater's 1 year anniversary. And I'm closing out that show there at 9:30. I think that's sold out already, and then I'll be home late. A little.
So you got a
beers.
full night of like
Yeah.
churn in the gut
Yeah.
to get
Get
ready for
Taco
when you get
Bell
home.
on the way home.
Ooh, that's not a bad idea.
Extra sour cream.
And
I
then,
hate that so much.
and then between either tonight or tomorrow morning, we're getting a stairwell fart. We're gonna get a doozy.
Well, that's your
It's
first
so
one.
good. It's so good.
It's great. I don't know how you're going to top it, but I believe that you will. Anyway, there's some food news for you. All right, I'm going to break. I will have those Primus and Coheed and Cambria tickets for you. They're doing that co-headlining run this summer, and if you want to go, we'll hook you up coming back.
It's the Alan Cox Show.
On our free iHeartRadio app and your favorite smart device. Just tell it to play the Alan Cox Show.
On iHeartRadio.
Friday, March 8th is International Women's Day, and iHeartRadio is celebrating the women who make music, influence change, and create